Artificial intelligence is forecasted to have trillions of dollars of annual impact on business. Every part of the economy will be affected, from health and human services to retail to real estate to media, and of course marketing. No matter what you do, AI is going to transform your career if it hasn't already. I'm Paul Raitzer, founder and CEO of Marketing Artificial Intelligence Institute. In this video, you're going to get a straightforward explanation of how AI works and a better understanding of why the technology matters. To understand how artificial intelligence works, first you have to understand what AI is. The simplest way to understand artificial intelligence is the science of making machines smart. That definition comes from Demis Hassabis, co-founder and CEO of Google DeepMind. The primary type of artificial intelligence is called machine learning. What that means is the machine literally learns. So it takes in data, it takes in inputs, whether it's email inputs or analytics data, CRM data. It takes the information in and it makes predictions about future outcomes. And then as its name says, it continually learns and evolves and gets smarter. The main subset of machine learning is deep learning. You hear about that a lot related to autonomous vehicles and other areas where the machine is literally being given human-like abilities of sight, of hearing, of language generation, of understanding. As a marketer, you don't need to go deep and understand how to build machine learning models or how to build neural nets or any of the fancy stuff. You just need to know the basics that it's taking machines or software you use every day and making it smarter on a continuous basis. How that's different is traditional marketing, and specifically marketing automation, is all human-powered. So if you think about an email marketing campaign, you come up with a subject line, you figure out the list to send it to, you figure out when to send it, you figure out what the lead of the email is going to be. AI enables the machine to actually make recommendations, or in some cases, take specific actions on its own. And then the real key is, as you're doing your marketing, the machine is in the background learning and getting better. So machine learning is actually pretty straightforward to understand. Deep learning is a bit more abstract. What happens with deep learning is they're trying to teach the machine to think like the human brain. And the human brain actually thinks in these kind of neural networks. It takes information in, processes it through various layers, and then it comes out the other end with an object. So when you or I look at an object, we know if it's a person or a telephone pole. The machine doesn't. It actually has to be taught that information. So for example, with sight, it's actually just seeing pixels, and then it pieces those pixels together to make a prediction about what it's seeing based on training data it has had. To teach a machine the difference between a cat and a dog, the machine has to see millions of pictures of cats and millions of pictures of dogs and be told by a human each time whether it's guessed right or not. And over time, it actually learns to predict what it's seeing. It's not seeing things the way a toddler would. When a 1-year-old or a 2-year-old sees a dog and you tell the baby it's a dog, it's always going to know what a dog is from then on. The machine has to be told that millions of times. So that's really what's happening, is to see, to hear, to understand. It's not the way we're used to it, and that's why I say it's human-like, because it's giving these abilities. But again, the applications are enormous. So if you just think about an example of an e-commerce shop and all the products listed on that site, the machine, to be able to see all those products and know what they are, it has to be trained to do that. And so that's really what we're talking about when we talk about deep learning, is giving it these human-like abilities. To understand the data that makes this powerful and makes it possible, a great example that many of us use is Netflix. But what happens when you join Netflix is it starts to make predictions about what the company thinks you will want to watch based on what's popular. So it'll surface things like top 10, or it'll give you some general categories. What they're trying to do is get a sense of what genres you're actually interested in. And then every show you watch and how much of the show you watch and how many episodes all helps them make predictions better about what you're likely to watch next. As a marketer, if you think about that example applied to your website, if you think about your blog or an ebook or webinars, really good chance your marketers are setting the rules that say, if this person watched this webinar, or if they downloaded this ebook, or if they've been on more than 50 pages of the site, then do this thing. Marketing is a bunch of if-then statements made up by a bunch of people who have a really hard time processing the amount of data that is available to us. The machines don't have those limitations. They can take in as much data as you give them. And so that's really where we're going in marketing, is all this data that's been sitting there for us as marketers, that's been going unused. we can actually use in an optimal way to predict behavior and outcomes. So as amazing as AI sounds, and it is, it does have limitations. So first is the data. It is powered by data. The predictions are made by data, and it needs a continuous stream of that data. So if your organization doesn't have the right data, or if it's not structured in the right way, or if you don't have the people that know how to do that, then you are going to be at a bit of a disadvantage to get started. The other piece is, because it has to learn from humans, there is often a lot of training that goes into it. So people think I just go buy an AI product, I flip a switch, and everything just magically does it for itself. That is not how it works. AI requires a lot of training, a lot of experimentation, and a lot of patience to see it through. The other major limitation is it's not a human. It doesn't have intuition. It's not creative. It doesn't find problems to solve. It has to be told what to solve. It often has to have a single goal. It can't have multiple goals. So if I told an AI, go get me a cup of coffee, it doesn't know not to run somebody over on the way to do it. It just knows to get a cup of coffee. All the things that come natural to us are very abstract and almost impossible for machines where they are today. My belief is that at least 80% of what we do every day as marketers will be intelligently automated to some degree in the next 3 to 5 years. What that means is the machine will assist us in the tasks we do daily. So you can wait 3 to 5 years and everything's just going to get smarter and it'll be awesome. But you have the opportunity to actually go seek those tools out now and get out in front of this, be an early adopter, be a pioneer, and establish a competitive advantage for yourself and your company. Hopefully now you have a base level understanding of what artificial intelligence is. And that's really all you want. You don't need to be an expert at this stuff. You don't have to build the machine learning models. You don't have to understand data science. You just need to know what it's capable of doing and be able to find the use cases in your business to apply it and look at problems differently. Find smarter ways to solve them. If you do, AI can give you superpowers. It can give you a competitive advantage, but you have to get started now and continually seek new knowledge and abilities.